I wanted to share a little video with you about what to do with children's art. So if you're a parent or a grandparent and you seem to be accumulating a stack of artwork, it can get overwhelming. And being a mother of four, kids are really prolific when they're young and they're creating every day. You're getting things sent home in the folders, or they're creating things at home, and it just gets to be a lot. So what I do is I hold on to the ones that are really cute, and then I reuse them to downsize these huge piles in really creative ways. So I'm going to give you 3 little projects that you can do with your kids' art, and they're really, really fun. So you don't need much. You just need scissors, glue, those 2-dimensional double-sided sticky foam dots, and a whole bunch of cardstock in various colors. And that's pretty much it. The other thing I recommend is getting a blank journal. It can be a sketchbook. If you can do a spiral bound blank sketchbook, that's even better, because as the book gets thick, you can tear out pages just to make it still fit the binder. Or you can make one of your own. I happen to be an artist and a bookbinder, so I happen to have a blank book that I had made. And I decided to use that for my child's art. So each child has one that I start when they're young, usually around 2 or 3 when they start getting shapes and faces and people. And I try to keep it until they're, like 8 or 9 or something, and add art to it. And what I'll do is I will find little drawings, and I will kind of cut images out, and I'll just stockpile the images, and then I can go in and add images on the pages. So like these are from 2 separate drawings, but they make a nice picture. My son was doodling on Post-its the other day, and I just thought those were hysterical, so I saved those. So I'm always adding different little snippets in the book, and it doesn't have to be fancy. It's really just a way to record and capture their progress as they grow, and it's really, really fun. So this is like the first time my child did some people that really came out very well. Sometimes I'll put what something is. It may not be super apparent at the time, so that way when we look back, we can remember what they were trying to draw. Like this was a Ghostbusters page, so I just thought this ghost cracked me up. And this ghost was the whole reason why I just cut up the paper. Instead of having a big 8.5 by 11, I cut everything out and just glued it into this book. So I do that a lot, especially with the notes. If there's a particular reason why he's drawing something or infatuated with something, I'll make a note. Like I wrote police station here because my son is going to be a policeman this year, and he keeps drawing these pictures. The little prisoner, it just cracks me up. So anyway, it's always fun to just create a book, and then you can cut the images out instead of keeping a pile of paper. And you might be able to get like several images on one page, and then you're down 4 pieces of paper. So it's a great way to really maximize the imagery. My other favorite way is to make cards, and I have 2 different ways that I like to do that. Cards are always in handy because there's always a birthday party. Handmade cards are always preferred, especially with kids, right? So sometimes they don't want to make a card when they need to. Like, we're going to the party, can you make a card? And they don't want to. So I like to have these on hand. Then all they have to do is say like, happy birthday, grandma, or whoever it is, or whatever the occasion is. So I have a huge cabinet full of various art supplies since I'm an artist, but I always keep stock of cardstock. So I have a huge pile in whites, and then varied colors too. And it is fun to give your kids some cardstock to draw in from time to time. My kids kind of grab it and gravitate towards it. It's pretty inexpensive. especially if you get it on sale. The craft stores always have sale on cardstock. So when they use cardstock, you can do these cute kind of three-dimensional cards that I absolutely love, and they come out so well. So I'm going to go look through my art here, and I'm looking for a piece of paper that's on like a cardstock. This is on a cardstock. This is on watercolor paper, which is even better. So I am going to trim this huge image down. And usually I leave a little white border instead of trying to get a perfect image. And I just kind of keep it loose. So I just kind of, what we like to call fussy cut in the art community, just fussy cut a little bit, trying to capture some of the details in the art. Nothing too crazy, because it's children's art, so certainly nothing has to be perfect. Let me just trim this part down. Okay, so we've got this beautiful image, which will make a beautiful card. It's kind of large. We might have to trim it down. So I'm going to pick like a contrasting color that I think will make it pop, like this slate blue here. And I'm just taking a slate blue piece of cardstock. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to put this on the card. Now, one thing about cards that's kind of fun, don't be afraid to have some bits and pieces coming off of the card. That actually looks really cool. So basically, I'm going to stick the glue dots in various spots around the border of the card. So I know it's going to stick out on the bottom, so I won't go all the way down. But if it's going to be on the card like this, then I would recommend trying to get in there with your dots just for the sake of the card. And then they're peel and stick, so I'm just going to peel these off. And it is so funny, I started doing this with my oldest child when they were like 2, and it just made like a little doodle of an egg person, you know, because at 2, that's kind of all they can do, a huge circle with eyes and, you know, little hands. And you cut it out and you use these 2-dimensional foam dots. And then if you put it on a cardstock color, it just takes it up such, like, it makes it look so finished. So now I have this incredible card, and as you can see, it's 2-dimensional a little bit, so it's not all the way down on the card, and it just looks stunning. So you can take a little doodle and use the foam dots. Again, you got that dimension there, and you've got a stunning card. Like, what grandparent wouldn't want that card? And then my other idea is just simply for when you have paper. So you can't really do the 2-dimensional dots with paper. So again, I'm going to just do a little bit around. I'm doing a very sloppy job. I don't want to spend too much time boring you with cutting. But if you leave a white border, it looks intentional. And again, it kind of just pulls the card together. So I'm not going to do the bottom quite yet because I'm not sure how I want to do this. So I grabbed a blue pile, so we're stuck with blue. And again, here I'm just going to glue the back side on here, even though there's long legs. I'm just going to let the card be my guide. So you can always, you can glue in a very front and center kind of way, like this. But you can also do something like this, depending, like a little bit off to the side, and then just trim, which people never think to do. I might actually do something like that. Like, you don't have to have the whole image. You can have half of it even. You could leave the tail, but again, this still looks really nice. And then if you want to do writing, one of my favorite tools, like if you're working on a card, is these, it's called a Uniball Signo. And it comes in white. You can get them at most craft stores will always have these. And then the white lettering here will pick up the white border. And again, it's just another way to pull the card together. So I'm just going to make an arbitrary message here, because this will probably be a grandparent card. But you can see with the white and the white, it just looks very nice. Another card that I made, I had this dog on grass, so I just kind of tore a line above the dog, and I glued this on, and then I did it on blue so it could be a sky. Later, my child might want to come and just do a sun, but then there's room up here for wording. So I just wanted to give you some ideas of how to use up some of the images that you have lying around and put them to good use. And again, just give you a way to take 5 pictures or 4 pictures of pieces of paper and turn it into just one page in a book. So, you know, if you cut out just little bits and pieces, you can create a little collage book instead of keeping all the paper. So I hope I gave you some really fun ideas for what to do with your children's art. And definitely let me know if you created something. I'd love to see what you make.